Welcome back to Emergency Management Made Easy with Lauren. I am Lauren Holley-Allen, and I have a lead story, as you and I know it as a true story. You'll need pencils and pads today. Villanova University targeted in second false alarm shooter report in 4 days. The false call was directed to a student dormitory, officials said. Bill Hutchinson, ABC News, reported the story. August 24th, 2025, 3:39 p.m. Villanova active shooter deemed hoax. Officials are investigating a false alarm warning after the campus went into lockdown for an active shooter situation during orientation day on Thursday. For the second time in less than a week, Villanova University was the scene of an active shooter hoax report on Sunday, prompting police to clear buildings at the Pennsylvania campus before investigators determined the incident was not legitimate, officials said. The false alarm call came in around 11 a.m. and was directed to Austin Hall, a student dormitory on the campus in Radnor, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Philadelphia, authorities said. Law enforcement has confirmed the call to be false. Officers are working to clear the campus, he said, and restore normal operations. The incident caused a large-scale response from local and federal police as officers in tactical gear conducted a sweep of the law school's Scarpa Hall as students and faculty were ordered to shelter in place. Mercifully, no one was injured, and we now know that it was a cruel hoax. There was no active shooter, no injuries, and no evidence of firearms present on campus, Donahue said in a statement to the school community following Thursday's incident. While that is a blessing and a relief, I know today's events have shaken our entire community. Ladies and gentlemen, it shook me. It shook me. Class 17 series, active shooter training. Introduction to shooter on site by hostile intruder. The disclaimer is, this training today is for people who are on jobs or in situations in which training isn't available and businesses, they have not had the time to conduct the training, or they may not have the ability to conduct the training. So I decided to introduce you to the aspects of it, but this is no substitute for having the community resources, police, emergency managers, state, federal police, whoever you may choose to come in to teach active shooter training. It's no substitute for the real thing, the real training that I have encouraged since we began. This is classified as a man-made disaster, active shooter training. So we will discuss that in detail in later episodes. So let's get started. Pencils up. You'll need them today. You'll need them. And also, people who own books will need them today. And I'll give you the references as we go on. Run, hide, fight. One, look for and know where the nearest exits are within your buildings. 2, have an escape plan in mind. Know where you're going to. Do you know? Know where you're going to. 3, run into pre-identified or places you can hide. That's knowing where you're going to. These places are pre-identified. You know where you're going to hide during a crisis situation. 4, know and be prepared to evacuate or assist persons with disabilities anywhere in or outside of the buildings. The designees are responsible for assisting the special needs population. There ought to be people designated to do that because that was covered in your emergency planning when you were all at the table. Just harken back to what you've already learned. What to do in the event of a crisis. What to do in a crisis? What do you do? Well, run and escape if possible. 1, getting away from the shooter or shooters is your top priority. 2, leave your purse and any belongings behind and get away. 3, if outdoors, proceed immediately to an inside meeting area or away from the shooter, and warn and prevent individuals from entering the area where the active shooter may be. 4, if possible, evacuate and distance yourself, regardless of whether others agree to follow or not. 5, if indoors, help others to escape if possible. Hide if escape isn't possible. 1, get out of the shooter's view and stay quiet. 2, lock and block doors, close curtains, blinds, and turn off all lights. Turn off all lights. 3, do not hide in groups. Spread out along walls or hide separately to make it more difficult for the shooter. 4, direct people to drop, cover, and hold until the situation is resolved. Be still. 5, all people not responsible for others should take cover in the immediate area. If safe, this includes all campus facilities, all buildings. 6, your hiding place should be out of the shooter's view and provide protection if shots are fired in your direction. 7, remain calm. Stay indoors until all clear signals is given, regardless of the length of time. Be still. 8, silence initially. Turn down, turn off any cell phones, radios, or electronic devices that may bring attention to your whereabouts. Make sure they do not vibrate. That phone should not be vibrating. Don't forget. You ready for the next group? Thank God you can always replay this video over and over again if you need to. Okay. Fight as an absolute last resort. However, if you have to, 1, commit to your actions and act as aggressively as possible against the shooter. 2, recruit others to ambush the shooter with makeshift weapons like chairs, fire extinguishers, scissors, books, or whatever is available. 3, be prepared to cause severe or lethal injury to the shooter. 4, throw items and improvise weapons to distract and disarm the shooter. 5, take care of yourself first, and then you may be able to help the wounded before first responders arrive. If injured persons are in immediate danger, help get them to safety. Now, call 911 or police in your area, wherever you are, not only in the United States, but in the world. When you call 911, or when you call your police authorities, wherever you are, do so when you are safe and describe the shooter, location, and weapons. Try to communicate with the police, law enforcement silently. Use text messages or social media to tag your location or put a sign in a window. While you wait for first responders to arrive, provide first aid. Apply direct pressure to wounded areas and use tourniquets if you have been trained to do so. Let me make it easy for you. A tourniquet has 2 purposes: to stop the bleeding after an injury, what we call stop the bleed. And it's when you have blood drawn, that's a tourniquet when they tie that on to stop the bleeding temporarily. They use a tourniquet. A device such as a strip of cloth or a band of rubber that is wrapped tightly around a leg, an arm to protect the flow of blood for a period of time. That can save a life. 2, turn wounded people onto their sides if they are unconscious and keep them warm. Turn wounded people onto their sides if they are unconscious and keep them warm. Now, additional information will be covered in Chapter 13 under Medical Emergency Healthcare Training on page 120 of the book. You can write a step-by-step House of Worship Emergency Safety and Security Plan. My name is Lauren Holley-Allen. I'm the author of the book. Just type in my name. It'll pop up in several places, including Amazon. Afterwards, when law enforcement arrives, follow this protocol. You can tell I'm hoarse. 1, when police or law enforcement arrives and gives you all clear, put your hands up high above your head before making a move to stand or leave. Keep hands visible and empty. Keep them that way. 2, know that law enforcement's first task is to end the incident, and they may have to pass injured persons along the way. There may be injured persons on the floor, dead persons. However, they will be looking for the shooter. They will be looking to deal with the immediate threat. 3, officers may be armed with rifles, shotguns, and or handguns, and may use pepper spray or tear gas to control the situation. 4, officers will shout commands and may push individuals to the ground for their safety. That includes you. Do whatever that law enforcement person tells you to do. Only when they tell you to do it. 5, follow law enforcement instructions and evacuate in the direction they come from, unless otherwise instructed. You are doing exactly what they tell you to do, no more. Additional guidance. Intruder in the building or active shooter. Key staff should establish a code word or words for intruder in the building and to address anyone threatening harm in the business campus or house of worship. You remember that New York shooting that we talked about, where the person came into the lobby in Manhattan and he killed a police officer, got on the elevator and went to the top floor. One of the persons who were on the first floor he arrived at called their colleagues on another floor to say there's an active shooter in the building. I don't know whether there was a code word or what. However, a code word is helpful. Just like in a hospital ward, they have, codes for heart attacks, or if someone is dying and they want the staff to come in, they're code words. So the same thing can happen in your facility. You may be working in a store and see somebody coming with a gun, and you can say code 22, everybody. Shelter in place, something, but have a code. That's a good thing to do. I don't know whether they had that when that gentleman had to call his colleague on another floor and say, hey, there's an active shooter in the house. Okay, so 2, consider post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD training, or professional help for families or individuals within the facility or business. This may be needed to cope with long-term effects of trauma. And we'll talk about that later because I have a chapter on that. We'll cover mental health incidents and crisis management in chapter 14, page 124 in future trainings. I can't go into it now, but I can say during COVID and people were dying each day, all day, some of the nursing teams did experience PTSD, post-traumatic stress, just like on the battlefield. But I won't go into it now because I don't want to take us too far off the subject. Hostile situation protocol. Remain calm, evaluate the situation, take action. 1, remain calm. Talk with intruder in a low, non-threatening manner, because at this point, the intruder is where you are, have found you or your group. So that person's there, what to do? Calm down, breathe. 2, do not make sudden movements. 3, keep your distance. 4, do not attempt to deceive or threaten the intruder. Don't be a hero. 5, maintain order among the customers, students, congregants, and visitors. Maintain order. 6, be consistently alert and prepared for violence. It could still happen, even while you are sitting there calm. 7, if any site or location is involved in a hostage situation, the primary concern must be the safety of all the people involved. I had to rewrite that because the safety of everyone in the room, the safety of everyone in the business or building, that's top priority for you and the police. Note, individuals who take hostages are frequently emotionally unstable. Do not antagonize them. Communication must be handled in a calm, quiet, non-threatening manner. Absolutely. Remember, it doesn't take much for such people to escalate into violence. The slightest thing can make them shoot you or hurt you, kill you. Recommended in crime prevention through environmental design, CPTED, as I had mentioned before. These are tips. I didn't give you the complete design framework. I don't think we are ready for that level yet. However, safe rooms. This is in paragraph 12. Additional safety measures on page 48 in the book reference. This is for my book people. Page 48, chapter 12. Safe rooms. The rooms are recommended during active shooter training and incidents. They are pre-planned, designated secure rooms, and spaces to retreat to. Should the business, worship house, facility, or campus come under attack by armed intruders, the room should have solid doors and more than one exit. Sturdy locks that can be locked from the inside without keys are recommended. Remember, you are the help until the help arrives. Email me. Prepare before it happens at outlook.com. Ask me any question. If you have questions in regard to this presentation, I'll try to address them during our next time together, the next Friday. You can consult with me, Zoom, telephone. We can make it work. You just email me and let me know what you need or what your group needs. So, yeah, that campus hoax shook me. It shook me. And I decided to go ahead and introduce you to this training. I had hopes that everyone would have an opportunity to schedule the training, the active shooter training, but just in case you're in a situation where it's not going to happen or your business has not had an opportunity to work with you, your emergency team have not had that opportunity, whatever the situation may be, I wanted to introduce you to the aspects, the important aspects of this training. And you can see how important it is and why I have been talking about it since day one of our videos and training together. This is some serious business and some risky business still, all the way through. And yet again, I don't even have to think about how I'm going to train you. All I have to do is watch the news. And yet again, that's what I have done. I thank you for being a great audience. I thank you for the emails. I thank you for your willingness to receive training, information, wisdom, and knowledge to protect yourselves, your community, and yes, your household. So at this point, I will say, stay safe, and I will talk with you again next week.